We're honored to welcome a guest whose work stands at the intersection of accountability, ethics, and public trust in government. Deborah Witzburg, the Inspector General for the City of Chicago, joins us for a special conversation ahead of the launch of a new franchise segment here on Chicago Newsroom 2.0, a segment that aims to pull back the curtain on how government works, where it falters, and what it takes to protect the public interest. Beginning this September, Inside Oversight will be a recurring feature produced by CAN-TV in partnership with the Office of the Inspector General. Each segment will shine a light on the systems that are designed to keep city government transparent, fair, and responsive to the people it serves, from internal investigations to ethical reforms and the checks and balances that often happen out of public view. Inspector General Witzburg has made it her mission to ensure that Chicagoans not only understand their rights, but also have confidence in the mechanisms designed to protect them. With the launch of Inside Oversight, she and her office are taking that commitment a step further, bringing oversight out of the shadows and into the civic spotlight. Deborah Witzburg joins us now to talk about what viewers can expect from the series, why public understanding of oversight matters, and how this kind of transparency can help build a stronger, more accountable Chicago. Inspector General Witzburg, welcome back to the newsroom. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
As you know, I'm super excited about the launch of Inside Oversight. First of all, as we just talked, it's such a cool name. And but it comes at a time when trust in government is both fragile but also so critically important to retain as we fight to keep our democracy alive. So why do you believe that this segment is so important, and why are you willing to work with us to help get it online?
Well, I'm so grateful for the invitation and the opportunity to do it. This is critically important to making the work that we do live in 3 dimensions outside in the world. Our work is only as impactful as we are effective in talking about it. I often reflect on the fact that we cannot do transparency work in secret, and we can't hold anybody accountable if nobody's watching. And so bringing our work out into public view is so critically important to ensure that, as I say, the work we are doing has an effect out in the world, has a real impact on people's experience of government, and what people can do when something goes wrong.
Right. And what do you think are some of the common misunderstandings about what you do? Like, people hear Inspector General as talking on the radio or on TV. What are they not getting about why what you do is so important?
Well, I think there are a number of mysteries and a number of misconceptions about what we do, and I think that historically, because the kind of oversight work we do is in some pieces subject to such strict confidentiality protections, I think that we as a profession have really struggled to navigate both our confidentiality obligations and our transparency mandates. That is a hard balance to strike, and I think that we, as I say, as a profession, have some progress to make there. I think that among the things that people, first of all, I think there are many people who don't know about us at all. They don't know who we are or what we do or where to find us. And so that's why you will now see, in the last couple of years, you will see billboards about us on the highway. You will see signs about us on the CTA in English and Spanish. And those are just sort of awareness raising efforts so people know who we are and what we do and where to find us. I think for people who have in some way encountered our work, some of the things that people might understand or misunderstand might be to think that we only do misconduct investigations, that we are only out investigating the bad guys, and we do plenty of that. But we do other things as well. In addition to our administrative and criminal misconduct investigations, we also do program and policy work that's designed to find ways that the city can operate more effectively and efficiently and equitably. And we do transparency work. We spend tremendous effort trying to make information about the city more meaningfully publicly accessible. I am a firm believer that information about the government belongs to the governed, and it has long been true in this city, as in many other places, that there might be data, public information, which is theoretically publicly available, but that's very different from being meaningfully publicly accessible. And so I think, we do plenty of going after the bad guys, but I am always glad to have an opportunity to make clear, both to members of the public and to people in city government, that that this is about calling balls and strikes, that not all the stories that we're here to tell are bad news stories, and that we do many different kinds of work, all in the service of our mission to promote economy, effectiveness, efficiency, and integrity in the operation of city government.
So, what's your hope in terms of inside oversight? How do you think how will you hope that it will impact viewers?
I hope that people will take from the segment a better understanding, as we've talked about, of the different kinds of things that we do, and a better sense of the ways in which we can help when they have an experience with city government which goes wrong, where they see something go wrong, they see somebody break the rules, where they have a suggestion. Nobody knows Chicago better than Chicagoans, right, and we only know what people tell us. And so I'm hoping that with a better view into what we do and how we work, that people will engage with us more often and more loudly.
Right. Recently, you had a piece that highlighted there's an issue you've been we've talked about before actually on the show with the city law department, and I think in the piece you described them as egregiously obstructive, which, by the way, I love that phrase.
You're welcome. We can share that.
But there's an ordinance, a proposed ordinance in the ethics committee to address those issues, and I think it recently got out of committee. So tell us a little bit about that and the importance of the ordinance.
Absolutely. This is, I think, an area where we have made very, very promising progress. We have, there is an ordinance which is in fact the product of a compromise of sorts, an agreement with Mayor Johnson's administration to remove what I think have been important obstacles to effective and independent oversight here in Chicago. And the two issues that the legislation takes on have to do with OIG's ability to protect the integrity and the confidentiality of our investigative interviews. We are trying to prevent a practice where the city's lawyers sit in on our investigative interviews. If we are interviewing a person in the context of an investigation, that person is entitled to have their lawyer in the room. The mayor is not entitled to have his lawyer sit in the room. So that's one issue. The second issue has to do with the scope of city records which we can access in order to do our work. And the ordinance includes measures to make sure that there are not city records that might be relevant to our investigations that are getting shielded from oversight, particularly where they might be embarrassing to City Hall.
Oh, wow, terrific. I mean, I think those things are important. I think people don't really appreciate, I think at a high level, I don't think they really understand, like if you're trying to talk to somebody and the mayor's lawyer sitting right there, it might, have a chilling effect on the person that you're trying to talk to and getting the information that you need. And while they can have some protection at an individual level, I think that's a really good point. And I think people just assume that, well, hey, you're the Inspector General, so you must have access to these records. But
one might assume that from reading the law. I agree.
Which would be why you need the ordinance. But
Yes.
I think we are going to talk a little bit more about the ordinance and about your work and why it's so important with a group of people who care very much about transparency and accountability in city government. So we're going to get to that shortly. And so on the other side of the break, Inspector General Witzburg and I will be joined at the roundtable by two other leaders equally committed to protecting the public trust by protecting independent oversight. It's an important and timely discussion you won't want to miss. Stay with us.